I'll have to look at
I am alive. Okay, that's good. Well, off to a little bit of a glitchy start, but here we are. So welcome aboard, everyone.
We know that, but nobody else does. Except just told them.
Yeah, well, and I'm starting like 3 or 4 minutes late, right? So sorry about that, guys.
Sorry about that.
No,
there we go.
It's all part and parcel of today.
All right.
So yeah, so hope you're finding your way to us, and we're now live. It is March 1st. It's been a month since the last virtual studio party. That's hard to believe. Can you believe it? That family day got in the way, and so here we are. So back and ready to collage. So we are going to. That little glitch has thrown me on my back.
Yeah, just take a breath, dear. Don't worry. It's not a race. Yeah.
Exactly.
I've welcomed everybody in the chat.
That's
so if you're able to join in the chat because you've signed into Google, please say hi and let us know where you're coming from.
Yeah, exactly. Literally or figuratively.
Yeah, whatever suits best. Yeah.
Yeah. And Kim and I were talking about it just a couple of days ago, the fact that we're coming up to the 1-year anniversary of lockdown. We're into the month that it happened. We're into March.
Yeah.
Which is hard to believe, isn't it?
Yeah, March 20th was the first virtual studio party.
And mine was a
week later
or
something?
Something like that. Yeah. So
something like that.
It's quite...
Yeah, we're getting close to it now.
Yeah, sorry about that, Jane. And welcome aboard.
Yeah, so glad you're here.
Yeah, I had some tech issues getting it underway. I had to start it again. So I'm glad you found it.
Yeah, there might have been a glitch at YouTube or something that
I checked, and everything else, like other web pages were loading fine. So I think it was a YouTube thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, you found us. So welcome aboard.
And here we are.
Yeah. Exactly. We're testing a new webcam. So if I look a little different, and if the picture looks a little different, hopefully it's sharper.
The picture's definitely sharper. Yeah. Everything looks a little blue.
Yeah, we still have to do a little tweaking with the color balance, but I think it is a step in the right direction. So.
And you're a little low in the cameras.
I am.
So let's.
There we go.
I think we'd rather see more of you and less of our upper walls.
Yes, of course. Well, our walls, nothing to write home about. So, yeah. Anyway, I see a bunch of people are joining us. I'll get Kim to get me caught up in a minute, but we'll be playing with That's Odd, which should be fun. One of the things about collage is it's great for That's Odd, isn't it? Because you can just bring things together that weren't meant to be together, and immediately that's odd, right? So I'm gonna rifle through my bag of tricks and see what I can play with, and hope you want to do the same. So, but as always, prompts are optional. So if it doesn't turn your crank, do whatever you like. Hopefully it's collage, and let us know what you're playing with. And hopefully we've got some blustery weather. Hopefully
the sun just came out.
Yeah, actually it's beautiful right now, just where we are in Brampton. Sun's come out. As usual, I have my co-pilot.
So hi from you've read Jane's hello, and hi from Rena.
Hey Rena.
Goddessman.
Yay.
So nice to see you both. It's been a while. So we had you in mind, Rena, when we switched the day to Mondays.
It's I think Monday works better for most people. So
we seem to be getting better numbers.
Yeah, never say never that we will switch it in future, but for the time being, Monday is our day.
Foreseeable future.
Yeah, for sure.
So Cherie says, hi guys.
Hey Cherie.
Ain't technology grand.
Yeah.
So true.
It often is. In fact, 99 it's amazing what we can do with it, and every once in a while it's
throws little wrenches.
Exactly.
Annie says hi, Kal and Kim, glad to be here. So glad you are here, Annie.
Yeah, welcome back. And I hope you had a restful morning. You didn't have for a change, you weren't in one of my classes in the morning and then wolfing down some lunch and coming back to the jam or the virtual studio party. So that's good. Kim is fine tuning that's a little too low, but there we go.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Again, we're just seeing too much wall and too little you. Personally, I'd rather look at a lot more you.
Oh, well, we are still married, and I feel the same way of you. But it's not your show today, so we can't.
It isn't. That's
can't.
Good. It's good for a change.
Yeah, Kim. Because of Family Day, Kim had more shows, more virtual studio parties than collage jams in February.
Right. So we could keep the schedule consistent.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just had a confluence of other events. Yeah,
you were making work for the special project, and
so I just had a fair bit. I still have way too much on. I don't know how I'm going to get it all done, but yeah,
'twas ever thus.
Exactly.
Judith says that's what happened. Yes, Judith, that's what happened.
Yep. So.
Jane says it looks good, and yes, the video is sharper. And so I'm thinking I'm going to have to seriously upgrade my skincare regimen. You're going to be able to see my pores too well, or something.
There is a typical female immediate concern. It's like, oh, we've got much better picture. Damn, that's going to be a problem. And she's the one who is like, we should get a better camera. It's
definitely. Well, maybe I just needed that impetus to do the facial masks. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, Gerda comments on that too.
Oh,
and
good.
I have shared in the chat, the make and model of the webcam. It's a Logitech C920S. C920 is probably enough to know, and it's a 1080 pixel, 1080p high def camera. We didn't go for the 4K because seriously, no skincare regimen's going to be up to that. So I dare say even Kal would be disturbed by how much detail he'd see of his own face. So 1080p, it's really good, and it's good enough. Where Marg is here.
Hey, Marg. Hey. That's great.
Didn't come in the first time, had to re-sign in and try again. Hi there.
Yeah, so did we. I mean, well, we didn't have to do that, but we the first go did not go. So yeah.
Well, anyway, you got to us, and that's good. We started a bit late, Mark, so that could have been part of it too.
Our apologies.
Cherie says, having a lot of fun with That's Odd.
Yes, I think you've already posted some, haven't you, Cherie? You've been.
That wouldn't surprise me.
No, exactly. Like she has to have like 5 in her belt before the jam starts.
warming up, right? She wants to be in her groove.
And I know you and Val and you guys were really going to town on the Februalage, so which is a month of collage during February. So so
and other people too. I think.
Right, yes.
I'm not mistaken.
So, I knew better than to attempt that with my schedule.
Cherie thinks that the theme is aligned with the world we're living in. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot that's odd.
There is a lot that is odd. Absolutely. So
Val's here.
Yay.
Says hi.
Hey, Val. Welcome back. And Val. So Val, did you do one for every day of the month? It seems that you were doing a lot. Did you make it? I bet you did.
Marie is here.
Hey, Marie. I keep waving. I should wave on this side because there's more space.
Well, yeah, you're right. You're just
it is
not
my
used
right
to doing
that.
No,
exactly. This hand doesn't work very well.
Yeah.
You know, like the lobsters, they have the one that's good and articulate, and then they have the club. This is the club. So
his club hand. It's prettier than that, though. Marie also says the clarity is amazing. It for some reason it is now bright blue, and I'm not liking this angle pointing at the living room.
Ah, yes, okay. You know what? It also is. Forgive us. We're getting used to our new camera, and it's also much wider angle. I think
it is wider angle.
Yeah, because
it's it's got the HD cinematic sort of.
Yeah. And
we're just gonna keep fiddling with this.
Push it back a little bit so I can.
Yeah, exactly.
Get down on that.
And remember, you can tilt the camera separately, which we couldn't do before.
That's right. I'm not used to that yet. So, all right. So, what am I going to be up to? I don't know yet. I am winging it. But I'll probably play any of you who have taken courses with me to any number of courses with me. You've probably done a dissonance exercise, and I think I'm going to start there. Dissonance being the idea of like setting up an expectation of some kind. Oh, this is what this piece is about, and then putting it in the middle of it.
Sesame Street viewers will be familiar with this concept.
Yes, yeah. One of these things is not like the other, right?
I think it's Sesame Street that comes from.
Oh, it was. Yes.
Yeah, okay, good.
I grew up on it. So I'm gonna do like simple studies. I think just little playful things, lay down some things, and then start putting things in that don't make sense and have fun with that. So.
I'd like to mention a few more people who.
Yeah, no, please do. I'm gonna get to it. You fire away.
We've got Anne here, Anne Leacoff.
Hey, Anne, welcome back.
She says, "You guys come on, and the sun comes out. Perfect."
Yeah, no, it was.
It was looking terrible.
Yeah, no, like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah,
it's
so
good
nice.
Timing. So yeah.
Yeah, and Judith. For some reason, I want to call you Judy. But I'm going to call you Judith because that's what's listed there. She says, "Hi from Mississauga. So nice to see you again."
Hey, welcome back.
Annie's here. "No rest for the wicked, slave to a hubby whose back is out, and daughter with a mild concussion." That's double whammy.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can stay for the entire show.
Yeah, well, I'll totally understand if not.
But glad you can be here.
Yeah.
Start anyway.
I hope they get better soon because both of those. I mean, concussions. Hopefully it is mild and it stays mild. We've had too much experience with concussions with him. So.
Rebecca's here.
Hey, yay.
Susan Hayden is here.
Hey, yes. Hi, Susan. And she emailed saying, that sod is just about par for the year two. And I agree.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mark says camera is great. Thanks, Mark.
Oh, good. Yay. Yeah.
Yeah, we just have to figure out the white balance. The problem is, I think the Windows software for the camera is better than the Apple software for the camera.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, I'm looking at the Apple software and it looks like it's from about 10 years ago. The graphics look out of date.
That's unfortunate.
Whereas the video I was watching shows something that looks much, nothing fancy, but it looks much more current. So classic. Anyway. Oh, it is Judy. Good. So, don't know how to change your name. Yeah, so that's just in your you might have a Gmail account. It's a Google account anyway, and you change it in there. But you might like it as Judith Nugent in other contexts. Otherwise, change it in settings in Gmail, for example. Val says, "Loved the Februlage."
Yes.
That's a bit of a tongue twister. It is
a tongue twister.
Februlage. There, I got it. Yeah.
Well done.
You have to practice it, though.
Yes.
She did finish the whole month of Februlage, and she's still going.
Wow,
that's
great.
Because remember, Val was feeling blocked.
Yeah,
a few weeks ago.
That's now in the past, isn't it, Val?
Yeah, at least the taps are open.
Yeah, the floodgates have opened. So yeah, that's great.
That's so good. Donna's here.
Hey,
she
Donna.
had a glitch and sort of went away, and now she's come to say hello again.
Hello again, Donna.
Yeah. Philippa's here. Hi, Philippa.
Hey, Philippa! Yay! We got all the great peeps. It's great to have everyone back.
She said she's having trouble with the chat. She was here last week too, but for some reason couldn't access the studio party. You couldn't access the chat, I guess, Philippa. Because I actually commented to Kal when the party was over.
Philippa wasn't
here.
there. Yeah,
that's unusual. So I'm sorry that you were there but couldn't chat.
Yeah, that's
a shame.
That is a shame.
Ruth is here. Ruth Austin. Hello,
hey,
Ruth. Nice to see you here. So you gotta. Oh, I like the way she looks with the lips cut out.
Yeah.
That's like our niece Danica has gray lipstick.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It looks weird and yet wonderful. You know, wow. I wouldn't wear it, but she's young and beautiful, and it looks great on her. Stacy's here. Hi, Stacy.
Hey, Stacy. Yay. Stacy's going to be joining me for my upcoming course, I think.
Oh,
right,
excellent.
Stacey? Yeah. So looking forward to that.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Ruth says it's been a while. Yes, it has. I'm so glad you could make it.
Yeah,
this time.
It's exactly a month. If a month is 28 days, as February is, because I think it was February 1st was the last one. So.
And Judy's now Judy.
Jeez.
She says, "Thanks, Kim. I'm so glad that helped. You got it fixed so that you can feel like yourself."
Kim is our tech girl.
Yeah. Stacy says she's looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, I'm just going to run and get some. Oh, Philippa says, "I'm feeling pumped today because I have an appointment for a vaccine next week."
Oh, woo! Yay. You're the first person I actually
know.
No, actually, I think I know one other person
yeah?
who's got a vaccine. But yeah, not very many. So yeah, well done you.
So glad.
I definitely want as many of my friends to get it as possible. So
I have aging parents, aging step-parents, aging aunts, and some of them have been in and out of hospital, and so far as I know, none of them have a vaccine yet. Wow. And I'm really dying for them to get vaccinated. But it is rolling out slower. The UK, they're going to be vaccinating the 40-year-olds this month.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're way ahead. Yeah, how does one even get an appointment for a vaccine? Her hubby is 81. You couldn't even, I think you can start booking an appointment this month, but I'm not even sure it's the first of the month that you can start booking it online. Of course, they've made it all online because they want, especially the most urgent group, the more elderly, to have to contend with technology, because that's perfect thinking there. Sarcasm, in case you couldn't tell. Yeah, Philippa's laughing. Okay, I'm just running for some water.
Get some water.
So yeah. I'll leave you alone with everybody.
I normally get Kim queued up with all her drinks, but I missed the water today.
For me.
She's got her cola and her hot chocolate, but not her hydration. It seems like a while since I've actually been collaging. I'm thinking, man, my knife skills feel rusty. And
weren't you working on the book?
I have not worked on the book nearly as much as I should, and I've been working digitally more in the last particular, which it's kind of interesting, sort of switching back and forth between digital collage and analog. And I enjoy that because I can choose. It's like, oh, this will be easier digitally, and I want to have the flexibility to undo stuff or to relayer stuff. And then sometimes it's just like, I need to use my hands for this.
Yeah. And
I get my hands out and start moving stuff around, and it's much easier sometimes, right? So it just depends. And I feel blessed that I have that sort of flexibility to be able to do those, to have the option.
I do a lot more digital collage than physical.
Yes, these days. Kim has long been a digital queen, and
there are people with way more expertise than I, but they're working on Photoshop 60 hours a week. Pardon me. Should have done that farther away from the mic.
Live and learn.
All right. What have I missed? Ruth says, yes, the aging population. It becomes a lot of stress for us baby boomers. Yeah. My mother and I kind of straddle the baby boomer. She's just before, and I am on some charts just after. So it's kind of a weird spread.
Depends who you're talking with. Where the exact.
I'm either at the very end of the baby boomers, or I'm at the beginning of the Gen Xers.
I am very much Gen X.
Yep. Ruth says she got her first vaccine last week.
Oh,
because she's an essential caregiver for her mother who is in long-term care.
Right.
Yes, the priority rightly has been going to people in long-term care or the facilities like that where there are residences like that.
Yeah.
And are vulnerable. It makes perfect sense. And I do actually, one friend of mine, an old schoolmate, he's the same for his two aunts, and he got a vaccine. So,
yeah. Well, and that's exactly right. Like if you're going in to visit someone, you should, in a long-term care or whatever, you should be a priority as well, right?
Absolutely. Ruth's in Ottawa. My friend John's in Toronto, so it's the same here. He got his last week. Same as you. Cherie says, it is encouraging to hear that people are actually getting the shots.
Yes, isn't it? Like this is the first time I've actually had this discussion in any one of our events. And that's like so exciting to actually know some people, hear about progress. Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Toronto numbers are going down. That is, thank goodness for that. Cherie says she's playing with digital, and then when she gets a combination of images she likes, she goes old school. Yes, that's an awesome way to work. Some painters work digitally in order to create references for their paintings. I know a science-based collage artist who has occasionally been at our events, actually, but she works full-time, so not always. She does very elaborate collages, very carefully designed with a huge number of elements, and she'll map them out. She'll plan them out digitally and then execute them very carefully, painstakingly by hand. Yeah, it's quite amazing. Her name is Tinley Dorhe, I think is how it's pronounced. It looks like Trinley George. But that's not how it's pronounced. Anyway, so she works like that all the time, and it's a great hybrid process. Jane says, is there an easy, simple app one can download and play with to do digital collage besides Photoshop?
You would probably
which
know
I
better
don't
than
have. That's a very good question. Yes, there certainly are. And Jane, I'm afraid that I can't. I've only just yesterday received my very first iPad. And so the world of iPad apps is a new thing to me. And that's really, I think, what we would be talking about. So stay tuned as I get ramped up to speed on the iPad. Cherie says she uses the Pages program included on her Mac. Cheap and cheerful. Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's awesome when you can just use the built-in apps. I did my very first iPad drawing, as some of you will be aware, because I posted it on Facebook. It's a doodle. It's not a proper drawing, but just using the Notes app built in on the iPad. So
because it's meant to be so that you can sketch something
as a note,
can type,
right? But you can also do handwriting or you can do sketches.
Right.
And it's a very versatile little app, and it's not at all meant to be an art app. But I was enjoying the qualities of line I was able to get out of it. So anyway, but the first app I bought was Procreate. So I will be learning Procreate. Which does work in layers, Jane. So there is that. it's expensive. It's like $13.99. So, you'll have to think about that. But but it is kind of one of the major go-to art programs. And you can import photographs and things like that. So you can photograph stuff and import it. So I'm going to just go out on a limb and suggest Procreate for the time being. Oh, look at the blues. That's fun.
I'm just going to share something. I just have to make it a little more handleable.
Yep.
But it'll be kind
of fun. So I'll
fun.
pause while you do that. So I'm sure people are anxious to see. Isn't that blue just wonderful? Wow.
Sorry, it's taking me a minute.
Oh, wow. Yellow eyes.
I'm in the wrong place. Sorry. I'll get there eventually, guys.
You want me to arrange it for you, or do you want to do an animation of it, switching from yellow to blue? Because that's pretty cool, the animation effect. That's a stop motion animation right there.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
Yeah.
I can turn that into something for you.
Yeah, but then I can't glue it down. Oh well.
Well, you can. Where my phone's right there. Just take a couple of photographs before you glue things down, before you get too much further, right? Oh, you want me to do it?
You
Sure.
you can do it while I move on to the next one. And,
all right.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Delegate. It's so rare for Cal to delegate anything. I gotta tell you.
I very rarely delegate anything, which is part of my problem.
Okay, and now
I want to play with those. I keep playing with this.
okay.
Why, thank you.
You're welcome. Hopefully it'll turn out.
Well, better odds than if I hadn't given it to you. So.
All right, lots of chat to catch up on.
All right.
Cherie says she's still learning Procreate, and yeah, it's very promising, I have to say. As a longtime Photoshop artist and designer, Procreate has some things I like so far. So Annie asked, do you have an Apple Pen? Yes, I have the Apple Pencil 2.0, I think. Rebecca says she really likes Procreate and she's using it right now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so there's something, guys. If you're ever in a situation where you don't feel like, or you can't get messy and physical at either Cal's Collage Jam or my virtual studio party, you can also work digitally on your your iPad, on your phone, come to that, on your laptop, whatever. Or just doodle. Honest, doodling is so therapeutic. Judy says, our 31-year-old son is in a group home congregate living situation. We've heard nothing yet about a vaccine for him and others in the home. Yeah. So younger people would be lower down, even though they're in a group living situation. But it, I don't know exactly how they're working it out, but is Procreate a monthly cost or a one-shot deal? It's a one-shot deal, Jane. $13.99 is it. You'll be glad to know.
Yeah. There's so much that is subscription-based now that...
yeah, it's a relief when something's you just buy it outright.
Yes, exactly.
Marg says, Procreate is easy to do stuff. Have been working with it for a while, still learning. Yeah. Rebecca likes the yellow eyes.
Yeah, so do I. I'm going with the...
Rena says, very cool. Cherie supplements saying, and Procreate comes with great YouTube tutorials. It's a one-shot purchase, Jane. Annie says, like a vampire with yellow eyes. Yeah. Has a sort of cat-like quality, too. Marie says, I'm with you on the delegating problem. It just seems easier to do it yourself sometimes. Maybe most times.
I think with art, it's an interesting question, isn't it? Because you want, there are certain things you want to do. There are certain things that you should do as an artist. Like you shouldn't be delegating. Both Kim and I come from a commercial background, at least in part from
but
our
you
design.
Didn't like delegating then either.
I didn't know because I was pathetic. I mean, I will admit that.
Oh my goodness.
But
someday we should bring you know how your famous red pen marking up the proofs for Rick or
oh yes,
the
poor people who worked
else.
With us and they'd spend hours on doing a first draft, and then I'd send it back like with a sea of red ink, and they'd, depending on how they were feeling that day, that would be a source of either resignment or frustration,
fresh cup of coffee,
or sometimes if they were in a good mood, it's just like, all right,
yeah,
be back to you in a few hours.
Yeah, well, that's what it took for it to be done to your level of,
to the standards that we needed to.
Yep, that's right.
Stay in business.
Not like I remember one freelancer we hired when we were super busy, and he or she, well, the younger ones in general just tended to do this. So if they were substantially younger, they just eyeball everything.
Yeah, that was definitely a bone of contention, because I said the computer allows you absolute precision. You can specify exactly what the coordinates are.
Yeah.
And
if we need to shift everything over by a very specific amount, it's very easy.
We can do that. Yes, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
But
anyway.
The old days.
We're obviously still not over it.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty funny, actually.
Oh my God, we shut down the design studio like 11 years ago or more. No, 12 years ago. Oh, it's a sad, sad thing. But, you know, certain kinds of people tend to become designers and fuss pots of various kinds. Yeah. Because generally you want a fuss pot doing your design. Otherwise, things tend to go awry expensively.
Yes. Awry expensively is...
those are not good words for...
Yeah, exactly.
Lisa Kemp says, I've been using Procreate to make my collages as well. It's like a combo of Photoshop and Illustrator. I like it and I'm enjoying learning how to use it. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to that, Lisa. And what Mark said earlier, similarly, you know, it feels sort of playful to me, although it has a lot more depth than it first appears. Rebecca says it's great on an airplane. Totally. They don't look at you funny. You know, you imagine if you started getting out real art supplies, unless they were miniature. Cherie says, airplane? What's that? Yeah, you don't even see them in the sky anymore.
Yeah. I don't miss that. Like I do see them, but very few. I don't miss the noise. Quieter. Yeah.
And this, where we live now, we consider way quieter than the first house we owned, which was under a flight path. Yes. Very nice neighborhood, very nice houses, but they had warning signs when you were buying that it was going to be under a flight path. And they weren't kidding.
Yeah.
But we got upgraded windows as a result.
Yeah, because when you open them,
yeah,
you got more than just fresh air.
Yeah. Rebecca says, Procreate on an iPad on the airplane I'm in. Yeah, I think most of us got that.
Yeah, don't worry. We got you.
Cherie writes, no, I was jesting about the inability to fly. Soon, I hope. Yeah, I'm not going before I feel like it's actually a reasonable proposition. Rebecca says, right, fingers crossed we can travel again soon. Yeah. I was thinking just on the weekend, we had to get rid of our beloved camper van this year, and that we bought in 2008. Yeah, 2008. And took with us for thousands and thousands of kilometers on our year off, especially. And took up to Halliburton a lot as well. And I just wanted to get into that van on the weekend and go on a very long road trip.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that we had to that it wasn't functional during COVID.
Because then we could have gotten out.
Would have been a very useful time to have
had a little built-in bathroom, built-in kitchen,
more or less self-contained trip.
Yeah. So, okay. Let me catch up here. Cherie says eyeballing is harder with bifocals. No joke. It has a warp. Oh yes, I've got these progressive glasses, and
what do you
think? Took a while to adjust because when I lift them up, everything changes in shape. Marie says, I've come to realize I'm somewhat of a control freak. So Marie, that you've got requirement number 1 of a designer.
Yep.
For sure.
And also maybe that's also a good pointer to maybe digital collage too, right?
Yeah.
because you can always.
Although the physical collage is like a counterbalance, right?
Oh, it's cross training. It's
like Kal is such a precise,
she says,
detail-oriented craftsman.
Things down.
No, but this is your way of actually counterbalancing that.
Absolutely.
You know, like when Kal freehand cuts something, people think he's used a ruler. So it's really great when he actually tears stuff up.
Kim, can you grab me a sheet or two of like bond paper, or again, just to use as a glue sheet? Because yet again.
Oh,
look at that.
It's like there's a sheet here.
That's all I need. Thank you so much.
Got a little bent corner, so it's perfect place for it.
Yeah, exactly. It's not one we want to print on. So
let's see. Marg says she took a course from Helen McCusker through Visual Arts Mississauga to learn how to get around the basics. It's very helpful.
Absolutely.
It's, some people can learn just from videos, and lots of people learn better from a good instructor.
Yeah, hands-on, being given a sort of a logical progression of skills, right?
Yeah. Gerda asks, is Procreate only for an iPad? She's not in the Apple world. Gerda, do you have a different kind of tablet, or would you be doing it on a laptop?
Yeah, because it's sort of a tablet is a requirement, right?
Are you on a Chrome or a Windows tablet? Jane asks, can you use Procreate on a laptop? No, it's a mobile app. It's meant for an iPad. Yes, and Marg, sorry, I'm reading Marg's comment. Older iPads will not run the program. Yeah, so Procreate, even though it is simpler than Photoshop, it's a rich, deep program. And so it's demanding of the hardware. So the older tablets just don't have the graphics speed and processing capacity. So you need a recent iPad. Cherie says, I'm waiting until Kim teaches Procreate. Well, thank you, Cherie. That is obviously the plan. And some of my key hardcore students have conspired to make it so. So, yeah, stay tuned. I've got to spend some time getting up to speed on it and figuring out interesting capacities it has, interesting possibilities. Because that's the thing for me, right? It's like Kal here is doing collage. There's all sorts of wonderful ways you can do collage. But I love the fact that Kal always has some interesting idea around how to do it, right? Like why you would do a collage, a theme, a puzzle, a problem, a game, whatever.
And where does that come from? Is that the same for you with
well, I just mean that, I could just teach skills.
Right.
But it's more interesting when I can teach skills that create possibilities. Well, you have to be sort of aware of what the artistic possibilities are.
Yeah, absolutely.
In order to teach the skills related to it, right? And so it's like you can do beautiful collages that are about rendering a scene or some kind of, a photo reference in collage, and it will look gorgeously different from the photo because it's collage. But it won't have any additional artistic idea behind it. And so I like your little puzzles. And so I don't know. I'll play on Procreate and figure out what your possibilities are.
Well, that is a hallmark of your teaching, I think, is that
it's a personality trait. Because remember that phone call we had with my dad, and he was so confused because I kept waxing enthusiastic about something after he'd already been persuaded of its merits, and it's like, no, I'm not trying to sell it to you. He
said, I'm sold. You don't have to tell me anymore. It's like, I'm just excited.
Yeah, you don't understand. This is me being enthusiastic. I can't help it. Yeah. So, sure. Oh, yeah. Rena says, sign me up for that class too. Awesome. Mark says, I will be there. Oh, man, you guys. Well, I've certainly got motivation now, haven't I?
Yep.
Boy.
They're clamoring.
Gerda says, I'll have to buy a more up-to-date iPad. The one I have was donated by my 7-year-old grandson, who insisted on a newer model for himself. Yeah. So, I'm sure that the old iPad is good for lots of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Procreate making rich art is more demanding. Graphics processing is more demanding. Jane says, me too. Wait till I get a new iPad. Mine is 15 years old.
Wow.
We actually do. I couldn't find it, actually. We have an iPad 1 that a friend gave us when she got a new one some years ago. And it basically can't do anything except that I was able to load it with reference images for my hearts. And that was very handy.
Right. So
when I was doing heart drawings, I just set up the iPad with, and I'd flip through it to find the reference I wanted to work from. So I also thought I might be able to run video art from it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Just use it
for an exhibition, make a case for it or something to hang it in a gallery.
Yeah.
So maybe the yellow eyes animation could be playing on that old iPad. Cherie says, you should be able to get some money for trade-in. I used the year's cash back from a Visa card to pay for half of mine.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Gotta love a cashback Visa card. I have one of those too. Jane writes, me too. Wait till I get a new Right, I read that one. Rebecca says, another similarity with me. I can't stop talking about explaining things I'm interested in. Yeah. You're like my younger sister, Rebecca. Fair bit younger, but I Excuse me. It's kind of fun. I don't have any sisters, so there you go. Well, I have an honorary sister. Because we've been friends since we were 2. And people used to mistake us for sisters. And we're close.
Yeah.
Mark says another app that is also adaptable to Androids, but I know it's also on iPad, is called Sketches Pro.
Oh,
yeah, that's
pretty fun.
Don't turn off the light there, dear. Yeah, that's the secondary one I've heard of a lot. Jane asks, I believe you can print from the new iPads as well, right? Mine you can't print from. Yes, you can print from, I believe. I didn't actually try it yet, but I've only had it for a day. So give me time. I'm sure Marg can speak to that, or someone else here can speak to.
Kim will have it completely figured out within a very few days.
No, I won't.
No.
Don't put that kind of pressure on me. Especially right now.
No, she'll have what we would consider all figured out.
I'd like to be.
Whereas you know
basics.
You know how deep you can go with it. So
Rebecca says she has a younger sister and an honorary younger sister, but they are both totally different from me. Yes, my honorary sister is quite different from me. And that can be a very good thing sometimes. She has a big, big heart, though.
Well, that much you have in common.
Well, thank you. Cherie says, I haven't figured out how/if to print yet. I just airdrop it to my Mac Air. Yeah. So if you're in the Apple universe.
Yep.
It's super easy because of airdropping things between devices, which Cal and I do constantly. But it's just so convenient. I know. I'll go get my iPad and I'll just test it out. Why not?
There.
Meanwhile, Cal's busy with his purple drawer.
I am.
It looks quite blue on your screens, probably, because the whole picture looks so blue, but it's actually violet.
Yeah, I wonder if I bring it closer, whether it reads more. Nope. So you definitely need to get the color balance, because
it's to set the white balance somehow.
Yeah. So we'll get there.
I wonder if I'm just going to temporarily stick a piece of white paper in front of the camera to see if it will. So excuse me, everybody. It's just a momentary thing, just to see if it will reset. Nope. Oh, wait. I'm on a delay.
I think it did.
It did on the paper. I can see the paper looks like a better color.
I thought the drawer looked more purple. And then
you briefly looked.
Yeah.
The right color. Your skin was the right color, and then it went back to being blue.
It reverted. Oh well, we'll get it sorted out.
I had the right idea, but the cameras.
You probably have to put the white paper in and then calibrate it somehow.
Yeah.
Rather than just have it automatically. We'll get there.
All right. Let's see if I can print something. I only have one thing on here, so. Might be under share.
I'm sure there is a way. It just
there under share you can go to print. Under share, I selected it to become a JPEG image, for exporting as a JPEG image. Then you get another window and print. You can copy, you can send, you can save, you can print. So that's good. There's the printer. All right.
You see the, of course.
Have you got it?
I found it. Yep.
It says it's printing. I'll let you know. We hear it printing. There. Isn't it great when you just test things right in the moment?
That's very
like
Kim.
That.
That's very Kim right there. Why wait? Let's find out now.
Well, preferably. I think it's probably because I forget so many things. So if I don't do it in the moment, then I forget it. Rebecca says, I've had people tell us we are lying when I introduce my full sister as a sister. So you're obviously taking after different branches of the family.
That's funny.
Wow.
What do you say to that?
Yeah. No.
No, I'm not, actually.
I think we'd know.
Yeah.
Cherie says, I consider myself a winner with my sister. She's my sister by birth, but my friend by choice. You have an awesome sister.
Yes.
If you're meaning Lisa.
Yeah, you guys are.
Yeah.
The Ricolas are definitely quality people.
Yeah. Ruth says, does Kal store all his purple blue pieces in that blue box? Yeah. So he has a blue one, but he has violets in his violet one.
Yeah. So this one looks blue, but
hold it closer to the camera.
This one's actually violet. It's hard. So let's see how it looks compared to the blue. The blue will look more green, I think.
Yeah.
But actually, they look really similar, and they're not that similar. But
they look really different in real life, everybody.
But anyway, so yeah.
One looks like phthalo blue, and one looks like dioxazine violet.
But yes, the short answer is this is how I organize my collage materials. I have it. Not everything's in there, but it's really great to be able to say, I want to work with some purple stuff, and I've got a drawer full of purple stuff or whatever color. And what else is great is it's really great for tidying up when you have like this kicking around, and it's like, what am I going to do with that? I'm going to put it in the purple drawer for future use. So
yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, so it's really great in that.
If you're a mixed media artist at all, the color coding drawers, you don't have to go out and buy drawers that are actually that color. You could put colored stickers on.
Yeah, a colored sticker is a great idea.
Or colored fabric if you're a fabric-y type person, or colored paper, but
a swatch of the color is really a good idea.
A nice satisfying swatch so that you really feel it
rather
before
than just
you
have to
think it.
You don't want to have to like, what color is that? Oh, right, that's the red.
Yeah, you don't want your left brain involved in it at all. We just want it to be an automatic. Ruth says, good filing system.
Yes, I think it's great, actually.
Rebecca says, me too. Love my sister dearly, but we are very different physically and in personality. Lovely. Rebecca says, she said, okay, we are lying. Why would we lie? Exactly. It's amazing the conclusions people will jump to. Ruth says, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No.
I can't remember, so don't worry.
I'm sorry, dear.
Don't be sorry.
Okay. Ruth says, oh my God, so organized. And then she has more exclamation marks than I can count. Ruth then adds, my daughter is a kindergarten teacher. She is just as organized in her classroom. That's probably a really good thing as a kindergarten teacher.
I think any kindergarten teacher who is still a kindergarten teacher after any length of time has to be organized, right?
Ruth says she didn't get that from her. And Marg would very much like it if you would show everybody what you have done on that first page. She has to go FaceTime with her grandson.
Oh, I knew it was going to come to that. It didn't work out so well. So I will share in a second.
Yeah, well, you got to share the things that don't work out so well too.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. So I don't think it will. What I'm unhappy with will actually show up too badly or too much on screen. Oh, I had something green and I've lost it. Anyway, I'll use my green drawer.
Yeah, you do have one.
I do have a green drawer. I'm coming, Marg. I'll be there in a second.
I think she's actually had to leave, but
okay.
But I'm sure other people would appreciate seeing what you've been up to. So
right,
because we've been going for quite a while without a progress.
So. Yeah. So this is what I did. I'm not overly pleased with it, but it's a start, right? I've been away from collage for a little while. The main reason I'm not that pleased is the top sheet that I glued down is quite flimsy, and the sheet that provides the color through the lips and eye is more substantial, and they didn't work too well together. The top one's got puckering, and I don't usually worry about that, but in this case, it's bugging me. So no. So, like, this conversation comes up in a lot of collage classes. It's like, don't worry about it so much. And now I'm hearing myself in my ears and like, don't worry about it so much. Yeah. I can't though. This is bugging me. So
maybe you just need to get over it.
Yeah, exactly.
By working on something else.
But that's what I did. I put it aside. And I'm setting up a few things where things are sort of by color are relatively harmonious, even though those pieces are quite disparate. Patterns and images of photographs and text and so on, they're similar color-wise. And then I will think about some sort of dissonant element to throw into that mix to be that's odd bit of that composition. So I'm doing the same thing with some.
So it's basically a color purple system.
Yeah, it might be more. It might be more than that, okay. but I don't know whether it will. I don't know yet whether it will be or not. So this is so weird. Oh, it's because I've got the wrong. No, it isn't.
Marg said thanks. She had to go.
Oh, okay.
Said see you next
I'm glad
week.
you saw it, Marg. That's good.
Marie says, loved teaching kindergarten. The little ones are so honest and trusting. Yeah. Cal's older brother was a kindergarten teacher, and he left teaching. Eventually, he was forbidden to hug the children. And, little kids, not even so little, but little kids, if you can't touch them, that's a deal breaker insane. For them. Yeah, it is insane. They need you to touch them, not in inappropriate ways, but in ways that support them. And it was just crazy. Because touch is a hugely important communication method, and they may have words, but they're little tiny kids. It's just so inappropriate.
So much wrong with administration that gets in the way of.
And this is sort of paranoia that happens because of the things that have come to light. They came to light. They'd been going on for a very long time. But, I don't think that that's the reason, kindergarten teachers hugging their sobbing students or their happy students, I don't think was the reason it was happening, But that's just me. Ruth says, I like it. I like the words on the lips. And she adds, you are your own worst critic.
No, and many artists are. Anyone else sort of have that streak in them? I certainly do. Yeah.
That's right. Isn't it nice just to be getting back into collage?
It is. It's nice to have hands-on. Exactly. Yeah.
Ruth says, "Oh yes, they are not supposed to touch the kids." And then she adds, "Seriously, and during COVID, it's really hard to teach that age group. No masks. Trying to keep everything clean, keeping them in their little groups. So difficult and stressful on the teachers." Yeah, because they have to keep them in little groups.
Right.
To reduce the spread. Possible. But they're little kids. Like, they just want to run around.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. No, I really... I feel for anyone trying in the school system, because there are lots of things that aren't being done properly. But even if they are, there's just so much challenge. Like,
it's so hard.
Every
teacher should have at least one teaching assistant now, and depending on the size of the class.
A whack of danger pay too, danger pay and just additional
just help.
Exactly.
Help with the technology, because some of them had to go from 0 to 60 so fast. And not everybody's natural with technology. And he says, especially these COVID times, you can't hug them when they're crying even.
Which is criminal.
Yeah. I mean, what are they learning at an emotional level when they're not being comforted physically, when they're in anguish?
Yeah, exactly.
Marie says, "Totally agree. I've been retired from teaching for 22 years now, and things were just beginning to get ridiculous as I was leaving." Yeah, I know. Cal's brother talked many times about stuff he was having to deal with that was nuts. Rebecca, in response to the worst, being your own worst critic, she says, "Totally. Usually hate my own stuff."
It's unfortunate, but I don't know.
I think there's a kind of faith in your process that is a thing you have to learn, and it's not perfect. I certainly go through periods of wondering why I ever thought I could be an artist, or
absolutely.
Like thinking I'm the world's most useless artist or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, like right now, I know that that's far from the truth. but it's also true that I also love my process. I love making the work, and I actually love a lot of my work, including the imperfect work. You know what I mean? Like,
I think it is in part. Let's see what you think about this, Kim. But I think it's part and parcel of striving, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we always have in our mind, even if it's an unclear picture, we sort of have a sense of what we want, and we're not there yet, right? And that's the nature of striving. You don't get there.
So there's a measurement.
Yeah,
involved.
Exactly. And
that's where the judgment comes in, I think.
Yeah. And something I'm always trying to tell students, and I need to tell myself, obviously, is that you should not judge the work in the middle of it. You can't help but sort of have a sense like, it's going well, or it's not going so well. But as much as possible, just absorb yourself in the doing, and leave the judging for tomorrow or the day after.
Because there are really different functions of the brain. The discernment function versus the generative function. They're incompatible. Because you can't generate when you're constantly chopping yourself off at the knees.
You can't do that.
Yeah. And
so I'll try and model better.
Cherie says, "I took what you said, Kim, last week at your studio party to heart. You said you have to learn to love your work." I've forgotten that. Thank you for the reminder, because I do believe it's true, and it ties into this when we're judging our work, we're measuring it against something, not necessarily something real. Sometimes we're comparing against something real, against something specific or someone, and other times, or someone else's standards.
Yeah.
But when we love our work like we love people. And it's a question of really looking at the work and seeing it for what it is, recognizing it for what it is. And I read somewhere, I'm sorry, I can't remember the source, someone talking about falling in love is about really seeing a person. And obviously they're better qualities, but really seeing what is beautiful and wonderful about a person. And you can have that experience with your work too. Not 100% of the time, not every day of the week, but it is a beautiful thing when you learn to do that.
Mira, who I'm not sure Mira is with us today, but she was it in your studio party? Yeah. I think she commented that she loves all of her artworks like her children, and I just thought that's really beautiful. Yeah. And she said even the ugly ones, and it's like that's
exactly awkward ones.
Yeah.
So I mean, there are things I make that I paint over, or I discard, or I rework, or whatever. So those aren't ones that I've chosen to adopt, right? But there are things that are awkward or distinctly odd. And sometimes over time, those distinctly odd looking things become some of the best things.
Yeah, for sure.
So I should catch up with the chat.
Is there some more chat, Kim?
There's some more chat.
All right. Hit me.
Marie says, I believe we're all very critical of our own work.
Yes.
And, I'll just mention, it doesn't mean you don't have to discard having standards. You just shouldn't be thinking about standards, because that's a form of measurement, when you're making.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think, I'll just leave it at that.
Marie says, so glad I'm not teaching now. I'm glad for you, Marie.
Yes.
We know people who are teaching in the school system. I honestly don't know how they do it. I would have lost heart long ago. Rebecca writes, art school helped. I can call myself an artist now and do love some of my work, but that doesn't stop me from questioning everything along the way. Right. Well, and questioning's a good thing to do. What's great is if you can have some periods of generating without questioning, and then pause, sit back, switch into more questioning.
And if you can question in a constructive spirit rather than a tear down spirit,
or a curiosity spirit, as opposed to a critique spirit.
Exactly. Then you'll be able to answer rather than react, right? I mean, if someone starts asking you, interrogating you, you're on the defensive. But and I'm just talking about self-talk in that case, but if you can sort of, I wonder what this needs, or this feels strange here, I wonder why, I wonder what would be better here, rather than like, this sucks, right? So,
or why did I do a portrait? Why do I paint?
Yeah, exactly.
Those are unconstructive questions.
Exactly.
And I know those questions come up too. So,
oh yes,
yeah. I've even, fortunately, occasionally had someone who obviously completely clueless ask questions like that of me or people around me, and it's like, you need to leave right now. Cherie says, we love our family and friends, and they aren't perfect. That's right. Perfect, yeah. Cherie. Yeah. Ruth says, if I don't like something, I turn it upside down, LOL. Then I usually like it better. Yeah, because it becomes different.
You see it differently.
And you probably see more possibilities when you turn it upside down. I should have a t-shirt that says Queen of Possibilities, don't you think?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because that is who you are.
Lisa Kemp writes, I find it can be hard to know if a piece is finished or not. When I'm not sure, I put it to one side and work on something else for a while. So the next time I look at it with fresh eyes.
Absolutely.
That's the right thing.
I do that constantly because
that's normal.
Yeah.
Like healthy process.
Yeah, exactly. I talk about in some of the lectures that I've done about the fact that you generally, when you start and when you get something underway, you have a bunch of ideas, you sort of know what you're doing, but you inevitably get to a point where you're not sure, right? It's like, is it done? Does it need a lot more? Does it just need a little bit more? Or even like, I know it's not done, but I don't know what next, right? That's the perfect time to like, okay, start something else or do something else, right? Like maybe that's the end of the studio session for that afternoon or whatever, and take a look at it with fresh eyes.
But that's also a reason to work on more than one piece in a studio session.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
that is something I'm a big fan of. So
well, I think people must be working away because
is there a chat
now? That's awesome. Just enjoy what you're doing, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, everything looks very blue violet except when it switches to blue green. There's a sort of cyan cast to the walls. That's what it is. It's cyan dominant.
Right. Well,
hopefully we'll have this figured out by the time of my next week, my virtual studio party.
Well, we literally, this is the first time we've used this camera, so
yeah.
Kim,
I set it up today for the first time. I unwrapped it yesterday.
Yeah, and in the last half hour or 45 minutes before the jam, thought I'll see if I can get this to work.
Well, I just thought it was worth checking it out, right?
Yeah, and it was.
We're all guinea pigs in this. Really, ever since COVID started, everything's trying new things. That's when we first started doing YouTube live streams, and goodness knows we've had a few adventures trying to do those. Yeah.
No. Really?
Yeah. We are eventually. We've been a bit distracted by family matters because I have a lot of aging relatives, as I mentioned earlier, and there've been a lot of hospital things, and there's Alzheimer's involved in one case, and it's been a lot. And so I had it fully intended that early in this year, I would have been getting us onto a live stream software that would hopefully manage the live stream better. And maybe mean that if some function got interrupted, we wouldn't have to start a whole new live stream to keep going. But that has had to be deferred for a bit.
We will
have a few other things.
Yes,
so
exactly.
But we'll get there in the end. Meanwhile, we've got started with this new bit. I mean, it was a big step up when we brought in the better microphone, right?
Yeah.
Because I think the sound quality on the first one wasn't very good. So thank you, everybody who came anyway.
Well, and eventually we'll do things like have proper titles and maybe even some theme music to lead us in.
I don't know. I think we're going to need another team member if we're going to do all that. The music, though, that's another thing I thought we would have had sorted out by now.
But we'll get there.
Yeah. Rebecca says, and we are enjoying what you were saying. So enjoying what they're doing and enjoying what we're saying. That's very nice of you, Rebecca.
Yeah. Bless you, Rebecca.
Yeah. Donna said, I'm so happy you got an iPad, Kim. I understand why you are so excited. Yes, I am
Yeah, Kim
very excited. I've been coveting an iPad Pro since it was invented.
Giddy might be an appropriate word.
It's pretty exciting. I got apps on there very, very quickly. Yeah. And it was nice too, because I have an iPhone. I was able to transfer over a lot of things from my iPhone. They do make that stuff easy. Donna says, it is so generous and lovely of you to do this. Aw, Donna. I'm so glad that you're here.
Yeah.
Kal and I just really, you know, you're definitely one of the people we were thinking of when we started these events.
You know, people stuck at home, and you know, not all of us live with people. And if you're living at home alone and then you don't have courses and your centers are closed,
everything's been canceled.
Yeah, it's gutting. So that was definitely a big motivation for us to try and help that kind of a situation.
Well, because at the time that we started, we acted really fast. We acted very quickly. And so a whole lot of things had been canceled, but all the new online offerings some of them were pretty far away from starting. Like, some people took a long time to develop them. Other people were quicker.
Yeah.
So anyway, we just had a lot of empathy for people who were used to having open studio and courses, and you get an energy from that, right? Like, and a social experience that is so important. So,
I was this morning during class. I have a new student who's joining me from Hagersville in southwestern Ontario, of the infamous tire fire.
Oh, geez.
But she was saying that how she had just moved there. She moved there like from Toronto.
Before COVID?
6 months before COVID.
Oh my
God.
God.
So she's in a new small town that she doesn't know. and used to having like all the amenities of Toronto, and then straight into lockdown. And she was saying that Zoom has saved her life culturally, because there are so many options, you know, especially now, so many options for taking courses and
and art events. Like I've gone to a bunch of artist talks and things, and I have to watch the replays on a conference that I signed up for. Because I couldn't attend it live because of family stuff. But, you know, there's so much I did attend another conference, actually, an science-based art Sci, it's abbreviated as, conference in Germany, which obviously I could not have attended normally. And I got introduced to all kinds of artists I just knew nothing about, who are doing wonderful work. So, you know, definitely there have been, you know, a few good things have come out of a really awful situation, because, you know, lockdown is hard, but just there's so much that's harder. Like the people who couldn't. Well, we've hardly seen my mother. We've only seen my mother very rarely. Because, you know, we have sort of different bubbles. And so it's for complicated reasons. And so it's difficult to try and be safe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rebecca says, we just enjoy the community and learning from you. Technology is not so important. Though it does look very nice today. Well, thank you, Rebecca. That's lovely. And those are, you know, the community and everything is, and the creativity. That's the important
stuff. That's obviously the first, by far. That's the reason we're doing it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't exist. We wouldn't be doing it without that.
Just I hope eventually, by the time the pandemic is behind us, I hope we'll have figured out a decent level of technical polish, so that you'd have a nice experience with your senses. Donna says, I recently bought a used iPod. I think maybe you mean iPad, from John Ming. Unfortunately, it will not cooperate with me. I'm waiting for COVID to relax a bit so I can get help from an actual person. Right.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. Marie writes, I know Hagersville. It is a very small town. Right. So it would have been quite rough for her then the online courses would be fabulous for anyone living there. Yeah, exactly. Jane asks, Kim, did you get the iPad at the Apple Store? Wondering if one can do that these days so they can do the transfer, show us new features, etc. So Jane, it was gotten at the Apple Store. I didn't get it, but it was bought from the Apple Store, and they have Apple experts. You can go online and you can pick it up, right? Like they have some version of
curbside
pickup at the store or curbside pickup. But in terms of getting introduced to the features and so on, they do that online with you. So it may be that you can be, looking online on your computer while they show you features, and you have your iPad to try things out, and they can troubleshoot a bit. That's for new purchases or refurbished purchases through the Apple Store. Obviously, in a private sale, that wouldn't be the case, Donna. Although they might offer a. You could do it with a friend, Donna. Why don't you just do a Zoom with John, or do a FaceTime call or something?
If you just did a 2-person Zoom meeting,
it's free. You don't need an account, nothing. It's really easy.
Is it 40 minutes that?
If it's only 2 people, it's unlimited.
Oh, even better. Yeah. So you could do a one-on-one with John. He could probably. I bet you he'd be willing to walk you through a few things.
Yeah.
And that way you can say, "Is this right? Is this where I do it?" And he can say, "No, here, like this." So yeah.
Yeah. Marie also mentions she's sure it's less expensive to buy there. She has a nephew living there and did have a brother there in Hagersville.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Kal and I have been wondering about less expensive places to live. But we want to live ideally, we'd love to live somewhere beautiful, but that has good healthcare and rock solid high-speed internet.
Yeah, exactly.
So that isn't going to be cheap. That's the problem. Cherie says, it's odd that while COVID has limited our contacts, it has multiplied our options. I'm experiencing online things I wouldn't have otherwise engaged in. Exactly, Cherie. Yeah. We're in the lucky population, right?
Yes.
We're privileged enough to have the equipment, the internet service, the whatever, to be able to take advantage of that. Some of the kids doing online learning, even though they got, I understand, Chromebooks from the school system, the school boards, their living circumstances can be terrible. Their internet can be terrible. All of that kind of thing because of their family circumstances, right? So a lot to be grateful for when we're able to do that. Take advantage of that stuff. Donna says, it somehow does not accept a couple of my passwords. I have come to really dislike passwords.
Yeah, I feel that one.
Maybe you just need to do a factory reset of your iPad, Donna, and enter your passwords fresh.
Fresh, yeah.
And make sure you're typing them in precisely the way they need to be. Having done that. Lisa Kemp says, I really enjoy your online studio sessions. I belong to a ceramic studio and haven't been able to go because of COVID. Oh, that's hard because ceramics, how many people have the equipment needed for ceramics in their home studio, right?
Yeah.
Not many.
Exactly. Like what studios that are sort of built around shared expensive equipment, like printmaking or
stone lithography.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not gonna...
or glass blowing. Any of those like high cost of admission things. Yeah. I mean, that's why, like right there, that's why this is collage. I mean, I love collage. It's a personal favorite, and
it's accessible.
But it's accessible, right? Yeah. So that's why this is collage primarily, because everyone has, these things are cheap and plentiful.
Yeah.
And you can print stuff off the internet. You can find stuff in your blue box. So that's why we're doing this and not ceramics.
Well, aside from a complete lack of skill and expertise,
there's that too. There's that too, for sure.
Oh dear.
I wouldn't let that stop me. Oh, actually, I would. Yeah. If you think my self talk is bad when I'm collaging, wait till you see me trying to do ceramics.
No, but the thing is, it doesn't work that way, right? When you're ignorant about something, you can be pretty confident in a weird way.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. You don't. There's not as much. Ego attached to it, or
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, like you're bad, so just like
That's right. Actually, just finish her comment. She said, your sessions remind me of what it's like to be there, and I miss it a bit less. Oh, that's lovely.
I'm glad, Lisa. Yeah.
I was just thinking of Jean-Pierre Larocque's ceramics. He really pushes the limits on what will work, ceramically speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And remember the big heads?
Yeah.
They're like collages.
They are like collages.
And those figures too. They're like clay collages, and they're insane. They're wonderful. I'll put his name in the chat and you can look him up in case you're interested. Anybody who's interested. He does incredible drawings. He's actually the guy who made me fall in love with just charcoal and eraser on paper. Changed my world. Where am I here? Dina. Hello, Dina Arampali. Have I seen you here before,
welcome
Dina?
Aboard, Dina. It's
lovely to see you here.
That's great.
She says the yellow color stands out on the blue-purple background. The complementary colors sing. Absolutely.
Yeah. It was sort of. I haven't figured out exactly what it's going to be yet, but there is something. There's something in this one that I had it like this, but I thought the values were too close, so I'm thinking
bringing something darker.
Dark shot of some.
Yeah.
With
dark and light.
Yeah, something along this line.
Yeah, that's very nice.
And in fact, that's not quite right yet either, but something along that line. Yeah. I guess I think we're getting close to the.
Geez, we are. I'm the one who's supposed to be keeping track of that, but I'm not the best for that.
No,
we've got some chat going on here.
You have many other sterling qualities, but time tracking is not your.
It is a personality trait of mine. Yeah. As long as I can remember, keeping track of time has been an issue.
As a little girl, she was the one sitting on the edge of her bed, supposed to be tying her shoes and not, but daydreaming, right?
Yes. Well, what was it? I could dress myself at 18 months, but my mother said, but don't ask me how long that would take. Marie says, you aren't asking for much, Kim. Oh, geez. What did I say? I can't remember what I said that relates to. I'm sorry, Marie. But that could generally be said of me with a wink. Donna says, John is really busy right now. I will try the Zoom with John. I've not been in that headspace lately, but this has improved. Good. Because I bet it'd be nicer if you could just enjoy your iPad. Donna says, factory reset sounds like John time. Yeah. Remember, you can also Google a lot of things like this, right? And Apple's website, the support section, you just enter in the fact that it's an iPad and what model it is, and you can get some, you can find a lot of support online. Cherie says, you don't know what you don't know. It's freeing. Oh, yes.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It is definitely freeing.
And Jane says, it's 3:30, guys, and as much as I could keep going, need to do some errands. Thanks as always.
We need to run.
She'll post her odd collage at some point. Excellent, Jane.
Yep. Odds are that there will be a place on Facebook where you can do that.
Yeah, so. That's right.
So I have something odd. I'm just not sure what I'm going to do with it. I noticed that there was this scrawled number, and I thought I'm going to cut that out sort of graffiti style. And now I'm just trying to figure out how that could be maybe.
Oh, I like it on the type.
Yeah.
There.
So there's something nice about that. So that strikes. Of course, it's not showing it very well yet. We'll get there. But that might be kind of an odd thing in one of these settings.
Sometimes if you just put the palm of your hand behind it and put it near or a piece of paper behind it, then the camera will show it better.
I think this is actually working a little better. So
good.
Yeah.
Donna says, I love the collage, Cal. Cool. I think she was referring to the earlier thing you were showing.
Yeah.
Lisa says, I love his sculptures. Oh, so you're aware of his.
Yeah.
They have some at the Gardner. Yes, that's where he had a huge show there that was the first time I saw his work.
And it seems unfair that he is such a brilliant visual artist as well. Like his really, charcoal drawings are like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're lucky enough to have 2 or 3 prints by him, because he's done printmaking as well. Every time she looks at them, she sees something different. Similar to collaging in complexity, for sure. Even in how he makes them, because he makes all these bits. He picks up bits off the floor and then he flings them with force onto the object to create those incredible complex surfaces.
Well, he like textures them and so on.
Oh yeah, right? Just like his mark making. Yeah. He texturizes the way he does mark making. It's wonderful. Marie says, the place you would like to live. We were talking about we'd like to live a place that was beautiful.
Yeah.
And
Does she have one to suggest?
She didn't go on. I was hoping she'd fill in the blank.
I think there's a dot there. Yeah. I want to. But yeah, we don't know yet.
Val says she managed to get 2 collages done and working on one more, and says thanks.
Yeah, thank you guys. I will try and wrap a couple of these up and actually post them.
That's right.
That would be really nice. I still have an unfinished piece of cake from the Good Enough to Eat.
That's right. The red velvet cake. Yeah.
Oh, in like.
Why don't you bring that into one of these? That would be an odd thing. That would definitely
be an odd thing. Exactly.
Right? They don't all have to be separate.
It seems a little cheap. Well, no. I'm trying to make a joke, but it's not going anywhere. So just ignore that. Yeah. Anyway, yes, it is time to wrap up. And thank you so very much for joining us.
Yeah.
And definitely post your That's Odd collages in our Facebook group. If you're not a member of our Facebook group, I send out the link to our, if you're on our email list, I put it in those emails.
Yeah.
And if you're on our email list, if you're not on our email list,
maybe ask to be.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, I need to have a little script so that I know how to wrap this up. But anyway, calhoney.ca. There's a page about Virtual Collage Jam, and there's a button there that you can email me to join. So
yeah, that's what we need to be telling people.
And I didn't have 2 weeks from now, we're going to do a Virtual Collage Jam on the 15th. So hopefully you can join us then.
Yeah.
And then we'll probably take a couple of weeks between winter and spring term, but I'll have dates for you soon. But hopefully I can see you in 2 weeks. Okay?
Yeah.
Thanks so much, guys.
And next week is Virtual Studio Party.
Next week already? Really?
On my channel.
Yep, on Kim Lee Ko's channel.
And if anybody's interested in having an afternoon of fun with jelly plates, I'm offering a course through Quest Art in Midland. It's a Zoom course, an online course. And
it's one afternoon, right?
Like it's a
3-hour session?
One afternoon in April, early April. Man, I should prepare for this and have all the information in front of me.
Questart.ca, I think, is the website.
Yeah. Quest Art Midland. If you Google that, you'll find the website and look for their courses and workshops.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
love to see some friendly faces there.
Yeah.
Familiar faces. Okay.
Meanwhile,
thanks,
keep collaging.
Everybody.
Yeah. Take care, guys.